There's a lot of folks talking about EVs. Some folks love them. They say they're going to save the planet and mankind as we know it. Then you have your critics who say they're useless and inconvenient. And as for myself, well, I don't know what to tell you. Never used one. I have, however, used, I guess what most folks or critics would call inconvenient vehicles. Vehicles that are old, abandoned, just generally unloved. Then I started thinking, what would be more inconvenient? To daily drive a brand new state-of-the-art EV or an old, abandoned, miled out 45-year-old gas-powered vehicle I picked up for 50 bucks. Same questions on your mind, you may want to watch this video. Before feasting our eyes on this beauty, we're going to go ahead and check out that game plan. Got her all set up professionally here. The plan here is pretty simple. I'm going to daily drive this old Malibu to work for a week, the old Monday to Friday, or at least try. Then I'm going to rent me up an EV and daily drive that for a week. Then, once done the two, I'm going to compare them and see which one is more inconvenient. Now, you're probably thinking, define inconvenient. And to keep it all objective, I thought about it. I'm not going to really think about feelings and stuff for inconvenience. Honestly, I'm just going to record downtime. So I'm basically going to record how much downtime the Malibu has. Things like trying to start it in the morning, maybe I have to prime it, maybe I have to jump it. I'm still going to have to put gas in it, so that's downtime. And total that up, we'll see what we get. Then I'm going to go ahead and write down the downtime for the EV. Oh, that's not posted here, so I'll do that. Well, marker's frozen again, so just give her one of these. There. For the EV, I'm going to do the same thing. Basically, run it for a week, record the downtime, and that total amount of downtime is going to be the inconvenience factor. So basically, at the end of the day, whatever vehicle has the most downtime will be dubbed the least inconvenient vehicle. Now that you know the plan, we're going to see if we can fire it up and get her out of the bush here. We're going to start her off with a little fresh gas and fresh battery combo. No sparks. About 5 minutes have passed, and how is she running? Well, in a word, awesome. I don't know if you can hear this here, but she's really leveled out and sounds amazing. Started pretty easy too. I think what we're gonna do now is take advantage of this momentum. I'm going to, well, drive it on out of the bush. Then we will see what we need to do to it, knock out that dent, change tires maybe, oil, and get it ready to pick up tomorrow. The car we got to work with is a 1979 Malibu. It has the little 267 small block in it, and I actually bought this car off the original owner. The original owner was like my buddy's aunt or grandma or grand aunt who bought it brand new, dailied it forever, and tried to sell it to my buddy who didn't want it, so I picked it up off of him for 50 bucks. Once I got the car, did a couple things on it, like brakes and ball joints and whatever, got a legit safety on it. Then I wound up driving this car for 5 years. Drove this car to school, well, high school, college, and we still keep it around as a yard car, but other than that, it's not really driven much anymore. And no, she's definitely not perfect, but what do you expect for a 45-year-old unrestored car? Speaking of not perfect, you can see here, these rear tires, they're not ideal. You can see all the heavy cracks in the sidewalls. Those ain't gonna make it too far. So we'll swap the rear tires out here. And front tires actually seem to be pretty good. They're holding air. And look at that, no cracks, nothing. Marshall. Does anybody remember those Marshall tires? Back in the day, you could have picked those up at Walmart for like 15, 20 bucks in clearance. They're awesome. So let's go ahead and address this bodywork issue here. So you can see there is a bit of a ding on the side fender there, and the hood won't close. She bottoms out. So we're going to go ahead and fix that up. Shouldn't be too hard to do with the right tools. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see how that worked here. Perfect. Okay, now we can close our hood. It's a good start. I'll knock some of the rust loose too. A little less weight, a little more efficiency. We're all about the efficiency out here. Can't believe that though. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so you had a bit of a tour. Got the hood latched up again, the hood closing again. So we're just gonna take her over by the work area, round up some tires and oil, air filter, some basic stuff like that, and just be ready to pick up tomorrow. Found a couple of tires over here. I'm gonna pop those on. They're definitely in much better shape. And right away, I'm gonna kind of rush here. I'm gonna get these tires on, you know, drop the oil, put an air filter in it. Boring stuff that you folks don't want to see. Since the car's been off the road for a while, figured it wouldn't hurt to test out a few things, starting with how well it starts. Just like that. Then after that, did a little bit of field testing on her. And finally, a trip around the section to see what it's like out on the road. Seemed to do really well, bumming around the field. Seemed to do really well around the section. Ran great, drove great, brakes are great, everything's good. So I think what I'm gonna do now is load all the stuff out of my daily, my other beater, into here. Throw some more fresh gas in it and try to make it into town tonight. All ready to roll here. Gonna climb aboard. And we're off. And just like that, this car was my daily driver once again. The trip into town went pretty well. Stopped in for fuel, hoping to dilute that old gas as much as possible. Ran into a guy with a really cool excursion, recorded everything, and then carried on. With a full tank of fresh, brand name gas, the old Malibu seemed to be running better and better. Didn't take us long before you made it to the spot that would be home for the next little while. And made it. And unpack and let's get going for tomorrow. Morning, welcome back. So today is going to be the first day I try to use this old Malibu for work. Should be a busy day. I have 2 sites to visit. One's in town, one's kind of outside of town, so should be a fair bit of driving. But before we worry about driving this thing, we gotta worry about starting it. One of my biggest concerns here with this whole experiment is starting this car every morning. Not just because it's a 45-year-old car and all. I mean, that pretty much is the main reason, but another reason is right over here. These outlets. These are timed outlets. They're called IPLCs. Basically, they cut power on and off, and I'll talk more about these outlets when we get going. For now, I just want to get this thing going. These IPLCs supply a limited amount of power to the block heater. They cut it on and off, which is awesome for the landlord, but not so awesome for for the block heater or for these poor old cars. So instead of risking it, I'm just gonna go ahead and prime that carburetor. I don't know how well this block heater works. And to be honest, I think that accelerator pump's a little dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her a shot of starting fluid. Open her up here. Let's grab our starting fluid. So I know this accelerator pump's pretty dry. This is just gonna give her a little kick start. Pop that off and, oh. Okay, so starting fluid, I guess, is a no-go. So we're gonna have to start this on its own, or now I do remember I had some, whatchamacallit here, just some summer stuff in one of these go bags, daily bags, whatever you call them. I got some sanitizer. What else do we got in there? We also have some sunscreen and cleaning stuff, baby wipes. It says this stuff's flammable. I don't know. We'll see. I know this is downtime because, well, this is stuff you wouldn't have to do with a new car or electric car, right? So check that out, folks. I got the timer on, so I'm gonna add this to the downtime log. I'm trying to be as fair as I can here, right? So I'm just gonna pop that off to the side in the car. And let's try to start this and get going. I'm gonna mix things up here. Now, I wonder how flammable it really is. I definitely don't wanna make matters worse. This thing needs all the help it can get. How flammable is that? I don't know. Let's give it a whirl. Only one way to find out. Oh, that actually is way more flammable than I thought. Perfect. Just give her some of that. So my start mileage here is 149, 18, and downtime so far was 2 minutes 49. Let's just call it 2 minutes 50 seconds. Cool. Anyways, still gotta scrape these windows down. This car actually does have some cool features. It's pretty loaded for back in the day. Like this rear defroster. Let's see if it actually works. Green light comes on. Let's give it a few seconds while we scrape her down. 50 years old, well, 45, and the rear defroster still works. Beauty. With everything scraped down, we're ready to go for our first stop here. I was really surprised how well the car started and how smooth she ran too. To be honest, I'm thinking it has to do with the weather. It's normally not this warm in Winnipeg this time of year, but I'm loving it, and so is the car. Getting lucky for these 1 or 2 days here, but the next couple days are going to be cold. We're talking 30 below Celsius, so it's about 20 below Fahrenheit, so it's coming, and we'll see how she goes. First sight, I'll be here a couple hours. Whew, and that's that. All right, next sight it is. Perfect. Gotta scrape her down again, then we're off. Unfortunately, the warm weather brought with it a bunch of freezing rain, but it was no match for the Malibu's awesome heater and crusty old wiper blades. Made it. I don't know if you could tell in there or the video there, but the freezing rain is really coming down. You can see all the freezing rain really built up all over the place. You can see along this trim, like even on this front bumper here. I need to chisel that off. Drive home was a little slick, but we made it. Into the lot here soon, and we'll do a quick little tally of downtime and what have you, mileage, all those good things, and see what we got. Made it. Daily log completed, and just to kind of confirm that is the real mileage or what have you. As you see, we ended day one here with 149.72, so about 54, 55 clicks. Anyways, that's her. Morning. Welcome to day 2 of trying to use this Malibu for work. Yesterday, day 1 went pretty well, so let's keep our fingers crossed. We do got a bit of snow to deal with today, and try to start her on our own power today. No sunscreen. Today should be a pretty easy day. We have one site to visit, which is nice. Let's just get going like usual, and okay. Don't want to refund anything too hard here, so we'll just give her one of these. There we go. Gonna try to start her today on her own power. I know she will go. For me, it's I just want to go easy on that starter. It's gonna take a whole lot of pumping, that's all. Gonna give her a few minutes to warm up, and we'll scrape her down. It's just a little snow. Just gonna do our log to start with. Day 2. It's a big 2. So, start off the same mileage as yesterday. We're off. With our downtime and mileage recorded, we were off to the first site. The freezing rain yesterday was super annoying, and because of it, I couldn't open the doors, trunk, hood, or anything. So we're gonna have to think of a way to deal with that a little bit later on, but until then. When I first started this car this morning, it rolled over pretty quickly. And I thought, oh, wow, that block heater must work well. But I also thought, oh, maybe that outlet, you know, those IPLCs, maybe they work better than I thought. And then I kind of thought to myself, wait a minute, I used to drive this car. I used to daily this car when I was a kid, back when I was in school, university, and this was my daily, and it gave me no problems. I'm not saying that modern fuel injection and modern engine management systems don't make driving more convenient, because they do. I honestly think that most of us forget how good these cars were when they were in decent running shape. So anyways, quit yakking here, we're pretty much here. So shut her down, see you in a few. With that all said and done, ventured out to do a couple of errands. It's always a good time. First one on the list, stopping for gas. Just look at her gleaming in the sun there. Beauty. After recording our costs and downtime, is off to do the last errand. Wash the car because, well, the freezing rain froze everything shut yesterday and I wanted to defrost it. Plus, really want to see out these windows while I'm doing all this filming. Exciting stuff, right? We're literally waiting for a car to dry. Man, these videos are going to gain a lot of traction. And after that, pretty much done for the day. Just going to do a quick little mileage recording here. And that's a day good enough. Day 3 started out a little colder. Morning. It's day 3 of driving this whole Malibu, and we're still doing it. Temperature outside is minus 24 or 11 Fahrenheit. So it's a little chilly. We're saying that. Let's get going because I don't want my coffee or GoPro to freeze here. Once we got her running and scraped down, did our usual recording, and then we were out. Pretty much the standard drill here. Had to go out of town today, so got a fair bit of driving to do on this chilly morning. To be honest though, it's not even that cold yet. It gets way colder here. Do you know how you can tell it's starting to get cold though? Take a look at the tops of those buildings. See the smoke or exhaust there? You notice how it's just kind of hanging out, lingering? Yeah, it's called exhaust fog, and that's how you can tell it's starting to get cold. So, just heading out of town here, and just thought I'd pull over when I seen these sundogs. Thought, hey, I can grab a video of that. It looks kind of cool. I mean, I guess, right? As I head out of town, continue to rack up the miles here in this wintry, wondery land. Basically, is gonna pack up, head out of here, and see you in a few. Come on, you got this. You're getting there. Shouldn't have touched that pedal. There you go. Time to roll. Luckily the car didn't flood too badly. It's easier to flood these carburetors when it's super cold like this, so luckily we got it fired and head to the next stop. And second sight. See you in a bit. Managed to make it back into the city here, no problems. Just in time for traffic. Yay, traffic. Made it. Then wrap things up with, recording the downtime and mileage and all that junk. Started the day with 149.993, ended it with 150.87, which means, oh wow, that's almost 100 clicks or 60 miles today. Okie dokes. I think we're pretty much good here. Later. Morning. This is day 4 of driving this old Malibu. Temperature is -12, and we have another blizzard warning. Typical. Is this marker froze again? Marker's frozen. So yeah, pretty much the same drill here, get the car going in the morning, record the mileage, record the downtime, head to the first stop or site or whatever, shut the car down. Made it, see you in a bit. Then pretty much do the same thing again, right? Get the car going, drive around, do some yapping, maybe an errand or two, record the downtime on that, the cost of that, and then drive around some more, do some yapping, and then pretty much call it a day. Day 5, the last day here. Temperature is -16. That wind though, well, -30. So it's cold. And as you can see, we've had a bit of snow. About 6 inches worth, and well, it's gonna make it challenging. So let's see what we got going on here. At least it's a dry snow. Hey, it's no big deal. It's all gonna be okay. Brush some of that snow off. Here goes nothing. The storm wasn't as bad as expected, and I was okay with that. Just one stop to do today, so we'll get that done. Made it! Then afterwards, head down to the Forks, meet up with a friend for coffee, and call it it. So, it's been 5 days, and it made it. So, next on the list, we gotta grab ourselves an EV and run it for the next 5 days, see how she goes. Anyways, we're gonna fill it up. I know I just filled it up yesterday, but I do want to record all the downtime in 5 days and all the costs in 5 days. So let's do it up. Okay, chatting a bit. After that, we've got out of the snowy parking lot, no problem. Didn't hold us back. Then we threw in some gas to top it up here for the last time. And of course, recorded the downtime and the costs. Okay, good enough. That's pretty much it. We'll figure that out later. I'll do a voiceover, blah, blah, blah thing. But yeah, that's it. And just like that, 5 days were done. Was this the easiest or most convenient vehicle to get around in? Nope, I wouldn't say so. But the fact is, she got the job done and kept me warm while doing so. I've owned this car for 20 years, it's never let me down, and doesn't owe me a thing. I really can't complain. All right, quick little summary here. So the past 5 days, we covered just under 130 miles there, 129 miles. Total downtime was 25 minutes and 43 seconds, which is quite a bit when you think about it. So that means in a week of using this thing, you're going to spend an extra 25 minutes on things like pumping gas, trying to start the thing in the morning, nursing that throttle to keep it running until it will run on its own. Flooding it, hoping she'll fire again. That's pretty inconvenient. That's a lot of downtime in a week. Total costs weren't bad, just under $40. Chewed through 9.6 gallons of fuel. Cost per mile was about 31 cents per mile. Again, I don't think that's too bad. It doesn't seem like it. And your average mileage ran us about 13.4 miles per gallon. So keep in mind, this is not an ideal vehicle, right? This car has been off the road for quite some time. It's just been used as a yard car for the past decade. So honestly, just something like a little bit of maintenance, throwing in a carb kit would have really gone a long way. But gives you an idea, right? Now that you have an idea of what's involved with running a clapped out, carbureted 45-year-old car in a winter, would you do it? Would you put up with the inconvenience or downtime or whatever? If it was a cheap vehicle and, got to save a little bit of money, let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Part 2 of this video is coming up soon where I do the Tesla and just got to edit it. So whatever, it's coming soon. Till next time, see you around, eh?